Okay, here are the power rankings going into week 4. It's been like a while since I've done this, and like a shit ton's happened, and it's gonna be pretty hard to like remember every single detail. So if things like don't make sense, just go along with it. So Detroit still in at 20. It's been a rough season for Hayden, but he's hung in there and like he's tried his best. But like his team's really hard to use. It's rough. He has like a lot of the same typings and like a lot of the problems that I thought would happen that just kind of happened. Celesteela again for like the third season in a row. Just hasn't done very well. So probably gonna might even go down a tier at the end of the season. Celesteela has not played well. It's all Celesteela's fault, by the way. Carolina and Green Bay at 19 and 18. These two coaches like taking over a team that they didn't draft, and it's hard to do that because like someone will draft a team and they'll have like synergies in mind and like these combos and like pairings in mind, and they'll have like specific ideas or like whatever for the team, and then when you come in and take it, you have no idea why they've picked what for what reason, and like you don't know what they were thinking, and it's pretty hard to just come in and take over a team like in the middle of a season. But I think they've done like a pretty good job with what they've done. But I had to put them at 19 and 18. Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're just gonna hate me for this one. But as I said at like the start of the season, this team's fucking hard to use. Like it is so hard to use, and like when he's in a bad position, he has no switch out, and then something dies, and that's kind of like exactly what's happened this season. Um, his team isn't fast enough to have good one-on-one matchups. So when he doesn't, his team just dies, and there are a lot of very good offensive teams in the league, and his team just can't keep up with them. And that's just all it is. So in the off season, you'll probably like want to either buff his speed or like start getting some actual like defensive Pokemon that can switch into stuff. Because how it is right now, it's almost impossible to win. Like I don't think like any coach could really take his team to a championship in this league. I don't think I could. I don't think Polly could. I don't think anyone could. His team's just very hard to use. Chicago Beartics. This team's given me like hope. Like they had a really rough start, but like every single game, like this was a brand new coach. I haven't even heard of Draft League before, but I seen like little glimmers. Like this team could be legit. Like if he gets like one, it might even take 2 seasons of practice, but like eventually this dude's gonna be fucking good. Like he's gonna be fucking good. I can tell. I can tell this dude's gonna be legit, and his team's pretty awesome. They might be able to make a late surge for playoffs. It'll be tough. They're 1 and 2. If they win their next 2 games, they're in, guaranteed. It's gonna be tough, but we'll see how it goes. Kansas City. This team here, like their record at the end of the season is not going to reflect on how good they are, because they have the roughest schedule in the entire league. Like their schedule is brutal, and right now they are 1 and 2 -8, which they're probably going to finish 1 and 4. They're probably going to finish 1 and 4, and I genuinely feel like if they had even just an average schedule, I think they could sneak into playoffs. This team's a lot better than they're gonna look, and that's why I have them at 15 compared to some of these other teams. If you watch the games, you probably think they should maybe be like maybe below Chicago, but I think this team has just had a fucking rough schedule. Like they're faced. Let me get the schedule up here. I think they've first. So they versed Beedrills week 1, who have turned into like a legit team. They faced the Sea Titans, who are, I would say, like an average team. Then they got the Aqua Jets, who are undefeated, ranked 3rd. And then this week they have Polly, who is the Seattle Seahawks, ranked 1st. And then to finish the last week, they have Buffalon, who is just like the team's just like a defensive menace. This is a very rough schedule. If they win their next 2 games, then like they're fucking legit. Like, they are fucking legit, and they can. I don't care what their differential is or where they make it into the playoffs. Like I don't care if they just sneak in. Like this team will be like a legit contender for the championship if they win their next 2 games. Okay, Minnesota Slow Kings. This team, this is the team I want to be good. Like I just want Onyx to make fucking playoffs, dude. Just Onyx, please, for the love of fucking god, win your games. Just please, fucking win. I just want him to win. Like I want him to make playoffs so bad. He's just missed out like 2 seasons. His team's actually good too. Um, Last week was rough. It was a 6-0. It was kind of a, it was just a, it was a slaughter that one. It was rough to watch, but yeah, the Denver's legit. If he can win out, I don't know if this. It's gonna be tough if this team makes playoffs. I think they can maybe win 1 or 2 games. It's gonna be fucking hard for the team to win the championship. Like Connor's gonna have to play out of his mind, but it can happen. There's a shot. He's just gonna have to go wild. Tennessee, Sea Titans. This team. I think this is just like an average team. I feel like this is the league average team here. They're 2-2. Look, even their record is like 2-2, 0 differential. They're a little bit below average on the rankings here. That's because the coach in the last game, he just surrendered. He just gave up. That's not like a winning mentality. You're not winning a championship with that mentality. You got to be tough to win a championship. You have to be mentally fucking strong to win a championship. That's why people have dropped out. And like you can tell, the people that have dropped out and left, you can tell that they were going to leave. At the start of the season, you can just tell how they talk in chat. Like if they don't sound like mentally tough, they're not going to be able to handle losses and stuff. I know Frost isn't like, he's not a pussy or anything, but like that last game, I was like, you got to stick it out. You can't be like forfeiting games like that. That's rough. And I don't think you got to be mentally fucking. You got to be a warrior to kind of win a championship. And I don't know if he can. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it through this season after that one. Jacksonville. This team, Swordfish is like the most ups and downs. Like he beat me like fair and square. Like he deserved to beat me. And then he's had like his first game was rough. Like there was some crazy ass plays in there. The next game was actually pretty good. He's done pretty well, but there's so many ups and downs. It's gonna be very hard for this team, I think, to pull through and win the champ. You could argue that honestly, like 12, 11, and 10, you could all switch them all around. Like you can put them in any order you want to. Like if someone said no, Jacksonville's easy 10, I wouldn't really have an argument against that. Like I think they're really just even. These 3 teams. Lon Lon, the Rams. Lon Lon, dude, he's been the most improved so far. Like he's been legit. Like he actually has. He's been really, really, really good. And then he had there's like a cheating scandal last week, but we just kind of looked past that. He kind of brought the power construct side guard because he's a little cheating bastard. But other than that, he's had a very good season. I really think he can do well. Like he's improved so much. I don't know if he's going to win the championship this year. It's going to be very, very tough. There's some very good teams. Next year, some of the best teams are all going to have their roster pulled apart, and that's the season where I think people like Onyx, Frost, Swordfish, Lon Lon, I think that's going to be their time to like make a move and try and win the championship. I think it's going to be very tough. There are a lot of good teams this season. Buffalo. This team. This is a tough one, and this is the team where I kind of wanted to put them really low. I did. Like I kind of, when I was like doing the ranking when I just started, I kind of want to put Buffalo like 14ish. This team is just, this is a full defensive team, and the defense has holes in it. Like you just look at the Pokemon on paper, and you got like Skarmory, Clodsire, Toxapex, and you got Reuniclus, Umbreon. You got all these fucking insanely defensive Pokemon, and it has holes in it. Like you can bust through this defense pretty easily, which is kind of crazy. And then they're left with like Spectre and then Zapdos. And then, like I said at the start of the season, Spectre is going to have like an MVP caliber kind of season. It kind of went off week 1 and then hasn't really done much since. Essentially, you stop Spectre, you win the game. That's kind of it. Yeah, the defense is good, but like if you can identify the holes in it, kind of just gets beaten. And I don't. There's a lot of offensive teams that are just a little bit broken. They're not going to be around or like this powerful next season. So like Seattle and Houston, I don't see a world where Buffalo can ever beat that because the offense is so good that it just breaks his defense, like no matter what. And like there's no matchup where I don't ever see Buffalo ever beating these two teams. Like I don't care who the combination of coaches you put in. This team just does not match up with that. It cannot beat it. It literally just cannot beat it. So I think it's kind of impossible for this team to win the championship. I mean, like, if you fucking prove me wrong, then like I'll literally send you $1,000. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Number 9. So this team, this is the undefeated team. They are 3-0 plus 10 differential, but they're at 9. They are second on the standings, but they're at 9. Why? This is a new coach who has had the easiest schedule by far. Like this schedule has been easy as fuck. Like no disrespect to all like the other coaches, but like yeah, let me read their schedule. Week 1 was against the Carolina team whose coach dipped, so he didn't really give a shit about the league anyway. Week 2 was against Chicago Beartics, who is a very good team. Coach is good, but they're still learning. They're still trying to like find their way. But they kind of had that match pretty easily. Week 3 was against Detroit, the 20th ranked team. Week 4, who they're going to play this week, is going to be against Carolina, the 19th ranked team. And then week 5 is going to be against London. So their toughest game is going to be against London in week 5, who is the rank 11th team, which is crazy. So I don't think we're going to know shit about how good this coach is until deep into the playoffs, potentially. Like I have no idea how good he is. he could be bad and just scraping through these other coaches who are still kind of learning how to play, or he could be legit and just stomping anyone. But like we don't know. I don't know yet. Like who knows? Like we have to, once he goes up against the top teams in playoffs, we'll really see how good he is. But I don't know. Like this is his first draft league ever. I'm going to still rate his team as if it's the start of the season and we have like no real idea how good he is, because I just don't know. My team, Miami 8. My team's bad. I don't like my team at all. Like I prep with my team and I'm like, where the fuck are my good Pokemon? Like I've got nothing. I've got nothing good. It's like where the fuck did all my points go? I know I stole 2 Pokemon, but like I have nothing good, like at all. Like I feel like I have a team of like tier 5s. I'm like trying very hard to kind of pull through. I don't think I can win the championship this year. I think it's basically impossible. Like I don't see a way I'm going to do it. And I think there's a big gap between 8 and 7. I think from 8 down, all these teams are going to have a lot of trouble winning the championship. It's going to be tough. Like they're going to need a miracle, essentially. But it happens all the time. That miracles happen all the time. Get the lucky crit or whatever, and you win. But I feel like it's going to be rough for these 8 and under. I don't know. They're just a cut below the rest. So 7 is Philadelphia. This team impressed me a lot the first 2 weeks, and then had a rough loss against Tennessee. But I still think this team has potential, and they're a little bit scary. I think they're a tier better than my team, Miami. They are very scary, but the reason I'm at 7th is actually I'm not gonna say, I don't want to give like things away to kind of counter his team. I just want to, you can all figure it out. But yeah, I think this is a good team. He's played pretty well. He's like impressed me, so I got them at 7. Denver at 6. This is crazy. This is wild. This is like the biggest move from 20 to 6. I'm watching this dude's game and I'm just like, this guy, there's no fucking way this is his first league. I can't remember where I found this dude, but there's no fucking way this is his first league. Like he's legit. Like his prep is fucking good. And like I'm watching his team, and like I hope every single season that he drafts like not sweating, just gets like the best Pokemon that like he likes, like the Pokemon that he likes. And he has a roster like this every season, because I'm doing that from now on. Like from now on, I don't really give a shit about the OP and like making a crazy good team like I had in season 1 and 2. I just want to get like team of fun stuff, and then like it's so much fun. It's like a challenge. But I don't know, like this team's so good. He's utilizing like these like lower to mid tier Pokemon so well, and it's like it's epic. Like his fucking X-Cloud is going off, and like can you imagine if this was like a Dragon Ball? Like, whatever, who gives a shit? But it's a fucking X-Cloud like destroying everyone in the fucking league, and that's so good. Like it's so fucking good. Like to me, X-Cloud is the MVP frontrunner out. It's not by like a massive margin, because like there's been a lot of good Pokemon like having good seasons. But this is just it fucking tore shreds through Honix's team, and it's been doing pretty well, like very consistently each game. Very good Pokemon. He's used it very, very well. I'm like very impressed with his team, and it's like it's the most fun team to watch. Like you look at his team like in the team preview before the battle starts, and you're just like, that's a fucking team. I love his team. I love his team. Number 5, Cleveland. This is the team I kind of shit on in the start of the season. He's gonna prove me wrong. Like he's just a good battler. He never deserved to be at 10. I don't think like he's 2-2 right now, but his schedule was brutal. He did lose to the top tier teams, and I think it's tough to say like where the cutoff is, if it's at 4 or at 3 or 4. But yeah, his first 2 opponents were really tough, but he did lose to them. And in order to win the championship, he's gonna have to beat the best teams. So I don't know if he can, but I do really believe he can just stomp any team equal or below. So Cleveland, they're a strong team. To win the championship, they're just gonna have to prove that they can beat the best teams, and we'll see, because they're definitely gonna make playoffs. I'm gonna say that now. If he doesn't, my bad. But I think he will. He's 2-2. It's like a small loss. He might make it, should make it. If he wins, he's in. So this one's probably number 4, the LA Wild Charge. This one looks probably like a little bit weird if you're looking at the standings and looking at this. He is not in playoffs right now. He is 1-2. So this team had a forfeit loss, so we don't really know how that game would have gone against Seattle. So it's tough. It's tough to say how it would have went. If he generally would have lost, I still think he would have been at 4. If he would have won, he probably would have been in 2. I think. Maybe even number 1. Maybe. It's tough, but I'm gonna put him in at 4 here. The reason they're at 4 is because I think they are basically eliminated from like a first round bye. So that's going to make that playoff run harder, and it's going to make their odds lower to win the championship. I still think this team's legit, and like Essed's good. He had a massive turnaround from season 1 to 2. You could like if Fruit Loops didn't join, and like he didn't take his team, that kind of went from last to first, even though the whole team was basically like redrafted and like actually legit. Essed would have won Coach of the Year for sure. Like absolutely. Like he went from 1-4 to 4-1. So he's a good coach. He's like learned a lot. This team going to championship. Number 3. This team has surprised me a little bit. They are number 1 on the standings, 3-0, 13 differential. I think they were 7th in the preseason rankings. This team's good. The coaches played very, very fucking well. This is a pretty scary team, and this team can just win the championship. Number 2, this team, I'm versing this team, and I'm trying to prep for it. Holy fuck, it is difficult. They did just lose to Denver, so it is possible to beat them. And like, Denver was ranked 20th because I thought they had the worst roster, the most fun roster, but the worst roster. And Denver won. Denver won that game, which is crazy. So this team is beatable, but fuck, it is scary. So that might tell me that this team's good enough to beat anyone. I think the coach is good enough to beat anyone. I saw his prep in the first 2 weeks. It's legit. But he's probably like me and just like drop a random game at any time. Like that's what I do. Like I can beat anyone at any time, and then I can also lose to anyone at any time because I'll just have like a complete off day. That's exactly what happened to me in the championship game. We just have like games where I just don't focus. I just start clicking buttons and I just lose. That happens to me. Like I have one game like that every season. And then number 1, Seattle. This team's legit. Polly is just a sweaty boy. Like he lifts up his arm, it's like Niagara Falls under there. He's a very sweaty boy, and his team deserves number 1. His team is legit. It is scary as fuck. I think he's gonna win the championship. I do. I think he's gonna win it. He's up there for maybe the best coach, top 3 easily. Yeah, he's very, very, very good. His team's insane. So yeah, so that's the power rankings going into week 4. Yeah, so now we've got a new bot. We're gonna be able to keep on top of this a lot more. So that's the only reason we didn't have the power rankings for last week, and maybe the week before that. I don't really remember. The bot was just shitting itself, and I couldn't update the doc in time. And there was like so much miss that I just couldn't keep up with it. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll do some replay analysis soon.